You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. And I was just really curious, what are we going to get? So, yeah, HDMI cable, we're going to get ourselves the power supply 5 volts. This time we do get ourselves like the okay PlayStation controllers, or at least like the really cheap chemical ones. Yep, the real cheap chemical ones. Oh boy. When we take a close look at the case itself, we're just going to get ourselves like an Orange Pi model that we have seen before in the past. Over here we can find the GPIO pins with a couple of like connections, and the reason why, because we're going to get ourselves like the voltage for the fan. At the back we're going to get ourselves the micro USB connection, then we have like a tiny button and the SD card. The SD card what we're going to get is the Samsung Evo 128 gigabytes. Seems to be an original one. And at the left side we're going to get ourselves the input for the power supply, an HDMI out and a jack audio out. And last but not least, then we're going to get ourselves 3 USB ports and the RJ45 Ethernet connection. The case design, I don't know what to think about it, because you can just basically lift this part up and just basically like get into the system. I think that was the intention of it, because you can see like there is a mechanism so you can open it up. Don't know, to be honest, why you should open it up. The Orange Pi is a very old piece of equipment. You can still pick it up. It seems to be like they're selling like game kits with a controller. But yeah, what can you actually play? I don't want to be all negative. There are so many ways to play nowadays, but is this thing still worth picking up? That's something we're also going to try out. Specification wise, yeah, something very fancy. What I personally don't really get, that they're giving you these chemical controllers, because that ruins, in my opinion, completely the gaming fun. So what I want to talk about, the controllers are this, the BETOP BET2. This is one of those controllers you can still find on AliExpress nowadays, or maybe later on they are going to be quite difficult. But this is a brand you don't see very often. You only see this controller with, let's say, a more expensive, let's say, mini PC nowadays. But these things are going around like, I think it was $15 up to $20. Another thing which you can get is, of course, an Xbox 360 controller used, depending like where you're living. Here we can find them very, like say, very common, and they're like super cheap to get. So one of those better ways. We're also going to configure. We're going to try everything just to see if we can configure it and does it even work on it. But nevertheless, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to try is, can we basically like connect the BETOP controller? I did have some issues in the past with some other devices. Just wanted to see if we actually can configure every single button. So let's start with the D-pad, up, down, left, right, start, select, then we're going to get the A, B, X, Y, then we have the shoulder buttons, and with the trigger, see, that's what I mean, sometimes I did have like this weird thing going on. But here you can see somehow with the freaking controller it doesn't work at all. It's kind of a bummer that somehow with Raspberry Pi or Retro Pi I did notice that this doesn't work. It's going to be an issue if you want to play a certain kind of games. Yeah. Okay, so next up let's try the Xbox 360 controller. And we had problems with the trigger, but with the original I don't have any issues whatsoever. It's kind of interesting to see that we do have like problems with the BETOP. A little bit of a bummer, because I didn't notice it like an Xbox 360 or recognize it. Okay, let's put the HUD enabled on there. Let's try this one again. Okay, there we go. Double check whether this one is going to be okay. Alright, everything has been set up, so let's take a close look at the menu itself. There are so many ways to play, and that is absolutely a fact nowadays. So the question remains, should you pick something like this up? So if you want to play some high-end stuff, PlayStation Portable, it's absolutely out of the question. So we're not going to focus too much on the high-end stuff. We do play some N64 just for fun, just to see what we can do with this. PlayStation, we're going to try it out, just to see what can we play. It's a little bit outdated, but maybe we still have like a lot of fun with it. So let's start off with some Mega Drive, just to see how it runs on this. What I already mentioned in the beginning, I think this is a great system if you just want to have something cheaper and you don't care about the high-end stuff. If you want to stick this thing in an arcade machine, also that is possible. He just punched me in the face. Okay, so next up I wanted to do some Neo Geo. Art of Fighting 3 does struggle sometimes on boxes, but it seems to be not having any problems whatsoever with this. I don't know what's happening today, but getting my ass kicked with every game here. Oh. Didn't we have like this flying kick thing? Oh, there he is. Next up, some PC Engine, a system that I really love myself. This is one of my favorite games to play. It starts off quite easy like always, but it's going to be quite challenging. Hoya! I don't know what it is with this game, but my character is moving automatically, but so to give you a quick demonstration. I love like some homebrew games on this, absolutely cool. You just have like different kind of games you can play on it, like Doom, so cool. Another system I love to play on this is Sega 32X. I do have like the original system and stuff all with it, but it's just easy to play it on here. A system you do see very often nowadays on most game boxes. Sega CD is absolutely an amazing system. I must say, like, it does have like a lot of crap on it, but we do have like some hidden gems that we can actually play through a game system like this. So cool. I think what I liked about the game most is the soundtracks, to be honest. Another system that we will see that we do have some problems with this is the N64, because N64 is very demanding when it comes to, let's say, some of these older devices. The reason I choose Cruis'n USA because it's super demanding, and sometimes it will be just like one of the best benchmarks to check it out, in my opinion. Of course, we can check out GoldenEye or some other games, but you can see like this is absolutely just unplayable. So let's try a different game. I'll show you what I mean, because there is some hit or miss with this. We do have some actually games that run pretty damn okay. So with some games we do get some better performance. You can always mess around with the emulators, but I'm more like, it's not going to be any better with some of the games. If we're going to try this one, you do have like some better emulation performance. There it is. I was searching like the freaking fire button. Ooh, yeah. Let's take a close look at PlayStation. It's basically like the final test because there is nothing else we can play. There is no Dreamcast, so no Sega Saturn or whatsoever. This is just some old school gaming. The surprising thing is like my vibration function seems to be working. It's something that doesn't like be included in a lot of the emulators nowadays. Of course, in the emulator itself you can activate it, but most of the time they deactivated that part. But the game runs on full speed. When you're going to test out some Bloody Roar 2, more demanding games, you will maybe have some hiccups here and there. But up to PlayStation 1, most games will run fine. But yeah, so what do I think of it? What do I like and what do I really don't like? So in general, when you're thinking about this Orange Pi thing, it's quite old. It is like compatible with a lot of games. If you like the 8-bit, 16-bit era, even some PlayStation 1 or a lot of PlayStation 1 games run. N64 is going to be a mix of, like say, performance. Some games runs like shit, some games will run okay to enjoy. But again, like it's a cheap system, it's an old system. But I thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. And it would be great to see you in the next video.